जय श्री कन्या प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So, welcome back to the Bhagavad Gita Preface and Introduction Essay Thematic Study, which is almost like an introductory course to the philosophical terms and definitions used in the Vaishnava epistemology. So, yesterday we began this discussion, and yesterday we uh, began with the preface. We discussed how Prabhupada dedicates his Bhagavad Gita to Baldev Vidyabhushan, who presented the Govinda Bhashya. Govinda Bhashya is Nyaya Prasthan, and yesterday we discussed the importance of this Prasthanatraya, Shruti Prasthan, Smriti Prasthan, and Nyaya Prasthan, and why Gaudiya Vaishnavas wrote a commentary on Vedanta Sutra, which was not required because Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary. And then, although Prabhupada gives credit to Baldev Vidyabhushan, dedicates his Bhagavad Gita to Baldev Vidyabhushan, but his presentation is very unique because the the people Prabhupada is approaching is not Vedantist nor Gaudiyas, as in the case of Vishwanath Thakur, but it is everyone, to the English speaking world. And the goal is the same, to make him a pure devotee. So, like that, we saw that yesterday. And then what we are going to study in this course, the thematic study of preface, the thematic study of the introduction essay to Bhagavad Gita. And while studying these two themes, we'll be studying the philosophical terms and concepts in the Bhagavad Gita. And then we began the preface, which has 6 paragraphs. The first 2 paragraphs, define the mood, and the remaining 4 paragraphs define the mission. Then what is mood? You know, Yesterday we spent understanding this mood, Shilanam. Bhakti, which is Shila, coming from the Shila Dhatu, which has two connotations, Pravritatmika, Nivritatmika. And Pravritatmika, Pravritti Nivritatmika, Kaya, Van, Manasa, Tat Tat, Cheshta Rupa. So, because of these two connotations, this actions using body, mind, and words, but there is no emotions. But Nivritatmika is non-action. Please remember. Again, here it is a little wrong. Not exactly, the Sanskrit is not coming up here, but that's why I've defined it. Prisi Vishadatmago Manasastu Tat Tat Bhava Rupasya. It is a mood in the mind. This is different from the mind as an instrument used to think or remember or to contemplate. It's a particular bhav, you know. And in English, we cannot explain it, but bhav I mentioned is can be stahi bhav. Stahi bhav can be dasya sakya, like that. A particular mood. Yesterday, we took the example of the mother and the child. So that is what is the meaning of mood. So bhav, and Prabhupada's mood is coming out. What is his mood? So who will answer what mood you can see in Prabhupada's presentation of the philosophy? What is the mood you can observe? Who will answer this? Let us see. Raise your hands. What is the mood? What is the mood of Prabhupada? Who will answer this question? What is the specific mood you could understand from Prabhupada's purport to paragraph, not to, in the preface, paragraph 1? What is the mood you could understand? Who will answer this? Somebody is on the, all the names are not being displayed here. What is the mood? Who will answer? Hari Pran Prabhu, yes. You have to, yeah.
Uh, what I could understand that he wants to put English transliteration, word to word meaning of Sanskrit English translation, and then purport, so that
Yes.
we can understand properly.
Excellent, excellent. Because that will solidly, very good. So that will establish the Krishna more solidly and progressively. So that's the first mood. And what is the second mood in the second paragraph? What is the second mood you could come across? Who will answer? You can lower your hand. Yeah. Second mood in the second paragraph of the piece, preface. What you could, you could derive. Yes, Bir Krishna Prabhuji. Sorry. Yes, Bir Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. It's a mood of humility. Prabhupada is giving credit to his Guru Maharaj.
Yes, that's the bhav, he gives credit to Krishna. He's the original founder of this movement, he says. And if there is any credit, it goes to his spiritual master. And the entire full name he takes, his divine grace, Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharya Ashtotara Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada. Prabhupada is not worried, how long you can read like this, it is taking so much space. He's not worried about all that. And he's having more awareness of his spiritual master here. And although Prabhupada, I mentioned, nowhere is used in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, any book, I. But here, I he has used, but this is not the I arising from false ego, but it is the mood of the soul, In that sense, that's why I is used. Otherwise, it is basically I and mine, is a conditioned state of the ahankar. But here it is not like that. So we saw this. So now we are going to continue with the mission. Okay, somebody has. Okay. Yeah. So let's go now to the mission. The mission. Okay. So what I will do is, okay, I'll begin reading. If I personally have any credit in this matter, it is only that I have tried to present Bhagavad Gita as it is without any adulteration. This is paragraph, yeah. Yesterday we began. Before my presentation of Bhagavad Gita as it is, almost all the English editions of the Bhagavad Gita were introduced to fulfill someone's personal ambition. They had a personal agenda in writing the Bhagavad Gita. They did not want Krishna to become famous. They wanted themselves to become famous. They wanted to not present the intention. Who is the speaker of the Gita? Who is the speaker of the Gita? Very simple question I'm asking. Who is the speaker of the Gita? Okay, what about others? Others don't know what. Who is the speaker of the Gita? Govind Nandini Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam. It is Lord Sri Krishna.
And who knows, so we should present the intention of the speaker or our intention. Whose intention we should present?
Intention of the speaker.
But we, present our own intentions, someone's personal ambition. So most of the English editions are like that. That's what Prabhupada is trying to say here. Okay. But our attempt, now you can see proper changes now, but not my attempt, is saying. Here you can see the change. Our business. He's not saying my business. Now, although our, is plural, right? When you say our, but in Sanskrit, now our is a sign of humility, and it can be used for singular also. That is the beauty of Sanskrit. Our business is to present the will of Krishna, not that of any mundane speculator like the politician, philosopher, or scientist, for they have very little knowledge of Krishna despite all their other knowledge. So, what is the will of Krishna? He has presented that in the Bhagavad Gita. What is the will of Krishna? Anyone knows? Which he has presented in the Bhagavad Gita. What is his will? Everyone leaves a will before leaving this world. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has given his will. What is his will? What is the will of Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita? Shubha Ikshan Krishna Prabhuji. What is the will?
Prabhu 18.66.
Yes, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Please don't type anything in the chat box. You use the chat box only for if the audio is not working, because it's distracting while having this discussion. Although we are having interactive discussion, so that we can have a very fruitful, because it's an online course, right? So the will of Krishna is Sarva Dharman Parityaja, but they don't present like that. When Krishna says Man Mana Bhava Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru, 18.65, Prabhupada is referring 18.65. Krishna is telling Man Mana Bhava, think of me. Mad Bhakto, become my devotee. Mam Namaskaru, offer obeisances to me, etc. We, unlike the we, again now I know. We, he says. Again, although it is plural, but it can be addressed as singular in Sanskrit. Unlike the so-called scholars, do not say that Krishna and his inner spirit are different. So what the Mayavadi scholars, actually how they interpreted Man Mana, they interpret the, their interpretation is, think of me. Me means not Krishna, they say. Me means, the impersonal within Krishna. So, ultimately the absolute truth is impersonal. So that's how they interpret. But, Krishna is pointing his finger on himself. Man mana, think of me. And, they do not say that Krishna and his inner spirit are different. Krishna is absolute, and there is no difference between Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's pastime. Krishna, his mind, his soul, they are all absolute. They are all spirit. Whereas for us, there is difference. So we conditioned souls also, we think like that. Maybe the Lord, we are also, how we are different from the body, the Lord is different from his mind. No. Krishna's mind is also spirit. Krishna's body is also spirit. Krishna is also spirit. So this is very difficult for a conditioned soul to understand, especially Mayavadis. The absolute position is difficult of Krishna is difficult to understand for any person who is not a devotee of Krishna in the system of parampara. So this, paratattva it is called, the absolute position. The paratattva is very difficult to understand for one who is not a devotee, bhakta, and then one who is not in the parampara. So both these aspects Krishna will bring out in Bhagavad Gita 4.3, and this is 4.2. Evam parampara praptam imam raj rishi savidu. You have to come in the parampara to understand the Bhagavad Gita. And bhakto sime saka cheti, 4.3. Only a devotee can understand Bhagavad Gita, Otherwise, no scholar, scientist can understand the Bhagavad Gita. Generally, the so-called scholars, politicians, philosophers, and swamis, Prabhupada is including here swamis. Please remember that. Because during Prabhupada's time in 1965, there were around 500 editions of Bhagavad Gita. And today in 2026, I know 2020, not 26 count, there are 2000 editions of Gita, almost 1500 more. And most are written by so-called swamis, so-called scholars, but none are bona fide. only those who are coming in the Guru Shishya Parampara, these four sampradayas, bona fide sampradayas, their commentaries are bona fide. Such unauthorized commentary on Bhagavad Gita is known as Mayavad Bhashya. And Lord Chaitanya has warned us about these unauthorized men. So, again, we'll not go into the philosophy of Mayavad Bhashya, but basically, the Mayavadis consider, that I am God, you are God, everyone is God. Ultimately, we are all Brahman, Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. So the philosophy is quite subtle and deep, which, is not a subject matter which we'll be discussing here. But the philosophy is called as Mayavad. And we are all here because we wanted to imitate God. And somebody tells that you are God, your false ego is more becomes strengthened by it. Because we are all come to become enjoyers here. We want to take the position of God. And that's why we are here in the material world. And if there is a philosophy which, promotes that, then you are all the more interested in it, So that's why this is a very dangerous philosophy, and Mahaprabhu has warned against this. Lord Chaitanya clearly says that anyone who tries to understand the Bhagavad Gita from the Mayavad point of view will commit a great blunder. Mayavad Bhashya Sunila Hoila Sarvanash. The result of such a blunder will be that the misguided student of Bhagavad Gita will certainly be bewildered on the path of spiritual guidance and will not be able to go back home, back to Godhead. Okay, paragraph 4. Our only purpose is to present this Bhagavad Gita as it is in order to guide the conditioned student to the same purpose for which Krishna descends to this planet once in a day of Brahma, that is 86 so many zeros, million years or whatever it is, or trillion years. So Krishna comes once in a day of Brahma and he gives this knowledge so that he can attract the conditioned souls back to his abode. So this is the mission. This is the mission of the Lord. And that's why the mood is very important, because mood and mission go together. And if you present in a mood where it is systematic, then the mission can be accomplished. So that's why the mood and mission go together. This purpose is stated in Bhagavad Gita, and we have to accept it as it is. Otherwise, there is no point in trying to understand the Bhagavad Gita and its speaker, Lord Krishna. The purpose of the Bhagavad Gita is, this is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita, and we have to accept it. Otherwise, we cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna first spoke Bhagavad Gita to sun god some hundreds of millions of years ago. We have to accept this fact and understand the historical significance of Bhagavad Gita without misinterpretation on the authority of Krishna. So this is very important. We have to accept on the authority of Krishna. When Krishna says that I taught this knowledge to sun god, we have to accept it. There's no way you can verify it because it's beyond experimentation. To interpret Bhagavad Gita without any reference to the will of Krishna is a great offense. So any commentary, nowadays, Bhagavad Gita for management, Bhagavad Gita for business, so many books, That's not the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. The purpose of the Bhagavad Gita, you have to find from the speaker, is to guide the conditioned soul back to Godhead, not to do management in this world. So like that, if you come up, you're going against the will of Krishna, who is the speaker of the Gita. You're using his words for yourself to become famous in this world. Just like intellectual property rights are there today in the world, And if you do that, then, you can be sued. But you commit a great offense. In order to save oneself from this offense, one has to understand the Lord as a supreme personality of Godhead, as he was directly understood by Arjuna, Lord Krishna's first epistle. So this we will come to when we study the... Just a minute, let me connect my laptop battery. Yeah. We have to accept Krishna as the supreme. We have to understand, one has to understand the Lord as the supreme personality. We have to at least accept. This will come in the introduction essay. That time we will take up more in detail about this. Such understanding of Bhagavad Gita is really profitable and authorized for the welfare of the human society for fulfilling the mission of the life. So this is the mission of the life. So the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita is to take us back to Godhead. That is the mission. You have heard about NASA mission, na? NASA's mission to Mars, NASA's mission to so many other space missions are there. So all these missions, similarly, the human body mission is to launch a rocket from here and go to the spiritual world. That's possible. Okay, paragraph 5. Krishna consciousness offers the highest perfection of life to human society. Or it offers the highest perfection of life to human society. The Krishna conscious movement is essential in human society, for it offers the highest perfection of life. The highest perfection of life is not to go to America or France or New Zealand or Switzerland, or this land or Moonland, Marsland, but we have to go to Golok Vrindavan, the spiritual world. How this is so explained fully in the Bhagavad Gita. Unfortunately, mundane wranglers have taken advantage of Bhagavad Gita, push forward their demonic propensities, and mislead people regarding right understanding of simple principles of life. Actually, spiritual life is very simple. Material life is very complicated. Very, very complicated. But spiritual life is very simple. It is simple for the simple. Everyone should know how God, Sri Krishna, is great, and everyone should know the factual position of the living entities. Now we'll come to this, Ishwar Tattva, Jiva Tattva, we'll come to this in the introduction essay. Everyone should know that a living entity is eternally a servant, and that unless one serves Krishna, one has to serve Maya, illusion, in different varieties in the three modes of material nature, and thus wander perpetually within the cycle of birth and death. Even the so-called liberated Mayavadi speculator has to undergo this process. Mayavadis are Krishna Pradi, so they also stay in the material world. They don't get liberated, and they think the Lord's body is made of Maya. So Krishna reciprocates, ye yatama prapadete. So the Lord puts them in Maya by giving them perpetually bodies made of material energy, Maya. This knowledge constitutes a great science, and each and every living being has to hear it for his own interest. So it is for our own interest. We have to hear this. It is for our own interest. People in general, especially in this age of Kali, are enamored by the external energy of Krishna, and they wrongly think that by advancement of material comforts, every man will be happy. They are enamored by this so-called advancement. It's not advancement in consciousness, it's advancement in matter. And matter has nothing to do with spirit. So this whole idea of advancement, we are seeing that as technology is advancing, humans' consciousness is degrading, human values are degrading, and advancement of material comforts, we cannot make the soul happy. Like the soul, a fish out of the water, you give him a Mercedes-Benz, nice AC, it cannot be happy. It has to be in that natural environment, that is ocean or lake. Similarly, we're spiritual beings, and we can only be happy in a spiritual atmosphere, that is the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, Golok Vrindavan. They have no knowledge that the material world or material or external energy nature is very strong. For everyone is strongly bound by the stringent laws of material nature. They have no knowledge that we are bound by the shackles of Maya in the form of three modes. A living entity is happily the part and parcel of the Lord, and thus his natural function is to render immediate service to the Lord. So the function, our natural function is to serve. Anyone be in this world, even Bill Gates, he might think he's the boss of Microsoft, but he is serving his senses. So he's a servant of his senses. Better to become servant of Krishna, who is our master. By the spell of illusion, one tries to be happy by serving his personal sense gratification in different forms, which will never make him happy. So, by trying to satisfy the senses, one will never be happy. Instead of satisfying his own personal material senses, he has to satisfy the senses of the Lord. So, our senses are meant for satisfying the Lord's senses. Our senses are not meant for satisfying our own senses. That will be called kama. But serving the senses of the Lord is called as priti or prema. And that will only give satisfaction or happiness. A very interesting point to be noted, and I'll ask you this question. What is the secret of happiness? How one can become happy? Anyone would like to share their thoughts? How you can become happy? What is the secret of happiness? How one can become happy? Anyone would like to share their thoughts? Yes, Subha Ikshana Krish Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhu, I have unmuted you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hmm.
Prabhu, by being in a constitutional position, which is Jiver Sarupa Hoy Krishna Nitya Das, we can always be in a happy state of being.
Yeah, that's true, but still more refined answer I'm looking for. What is the secret of being happy, to be happy?
Mm,
Chakaram Prabhuji, yes. Chakravam Prabhuji, where are you? Yeah, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Happiness being state of mind is not dependent upon external things.
This is what in the outside world they define happiness like this. But this is a wrong definition for your kind information. So that's why, anyone else would like to share the thoughts. Actually, the answer is given by Prabhupada. I'm trying to just figure out whether you are able to catch it. Okay, Dear Krish Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, it is possible only when we are able to engage our senses in service of senses of the Lord of the senses.
Yeah, basically, by doing that, what you do?
In that, Prabhu, basically, uh,
By engaging your senses in the Lord's service, what you are actually doing?
actually, we are trying to please the Lord,
We are
and by
going to give
that,
happiness to the Lord.
we get reciprocation.
This is the point. By making Krishna happy, we automatically become happy. This is the secret. This is the secret. And even in this world, material world, if you want to be happy, you make others happy, then you'll be much happier. But if you want to become happy and you want to, enjoy your own senses, you become miserable. Is it true or no? Even in the material
Yes,
world,
yes,
who will
yes.
vote for it? By seeing others happy, we can feel more happiness. Yes or no? Who would like to share their thoughts on this? Even in the material world, this principle works. Yes. So this is what Prabhupada is speaking, about. If you want to become happy, then, one should not satisfy his own senses, but, satisfy the senses of the Lord. That is the highest perfection of life. The Lord wants this and he demands it. One has to understand the central point of Bhagavad Gita. So this is the theme, the central point of Bhagavad Gita in paragraph 6. No? Our Krishna conscious movement is teaching the whole world this central point, and because we are not polluting the theme of Bhagavad Gita as it is, anyone seriously interested in deriving benefit by studying Bhagavad Gita must take help from the Krishna conscious movement for practical understanding of Bhagavad Gita under the direct guidance of the Lord. So here you can see Prabhupada again, he's using our, he's not saying my Krishna conscious movement. We hope, therefore, that people will derive the greatest benefit by studying Bhagavad Gita as it is, as we have presented it here. And if even one man becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, we shall consider our attempt a success. So then Prabhupada says, I hope, he's not saying, but he's saying we hope. And we shall consider, not I shall consider. But in the mood he had used I, and I have discriminated that I is basically the mood, and that is nothing to do with the Ahankar platform, but it is the mood, the particular bhav of Prabhupada, and that's why he has used their I. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, 12th May 1971, Sydney, Australia, when he printed the full-fledged version of Bhagavad Gita through his BBT press. That's where he gave this preface. And see, Prabhupada's goal to write this Bhagavad Gita, millions of copies are distributed, and he says that if even one becomes a pure devotee, his attempt is successful. So that completes the mood and mission discussion. Now, based on this I and mine, we are just going to discuss one philosophical definition, from the preface. That is the concept of aham and mama. Aham and mama. So this is based on ahankar. The ahankar has this two aspects. I am this body, and everything belonging to this body and bodily expansions are mine. This is my son, this is my wife, this is my husband, this is my mobile, this is my car, this is my house. Why? Because aham bhav is there. So this is aham and mama. In Sanskrit it is called. Kapil Dev speaks about this in the Kapil Shiksha. Aham and mama. So how do we come out from this concept? By deha dehi beda tattva. That we are not the body, but we are spirit soul. By beda tattva, analysis between body and spirit, which is called as Sankhya. In the Gyan path it is Sankhya. Esha te abhita sankhe buddhi yoge to mam shunu. So Krishna has done the analysis between matter and spirit from 2.12 to 2.30 in the Bhagavad Gita. So then we realize aham brahmasmi. I am spirit soul. So by realizing, aham brahmasmi, I am spirit soul. This is, this is a higher level, but still higher level is mamatva buddhi. Tattva is there, or buddhi also is there. Mamatva buddhi is what? Krishna is mine. In aham buddhi, in the spiritual platform, is I belong to Krishna. Krishna is mine is although mama is more gross, this is subtle, but it reverses here. Mamata is higher and this aham buddhi is lower. This is on a higher platform and this is on a lower platform. Mother Yashoda says Krishna is my son. Gopi say Krishna is my lover. The Saka say Krishna is my friend. So they have that mamatva buddhi. And Mamatvad Buddhi is considered higher to Aham Buddhi. So that's the point is being stressed here, you know. So we should become free from this concept of I and mine. And by studying the Bhagavad Gita, you know, by especially the second chapter, you know, we slowly, you know, Jivera Swarupoy Krishnera Nityadas. I am the servant of Krishna. Krishna is my master, you know. So there is difference between these two statements. I am servant of Krishna and Krishna is my master. So there is more of possessiveness here. Possessiveness. So to become detached from mama, you have to come to this aham brahmasmi, you know, to become detached. But a higher level of mama is, you know, when you have possessiveness of Krishna, you know. And this same principle works in the material world. The mother is possessive of the child, you know. You are my darling or something you say, no? That possessive, you know, feelings, what you have, they are very strong, you know. So similarly, at the spiritual platform, you know, this is considered the highest, you know. So that's why don't stand on the Gita, just understand the Gita. Don't stand on the Gita, but just understand the Gita. So I am trying to explain the concept of subject and object. Now I'll have to take another slide to explain this. New slide. Okay. So this is subject, and this is a book. I'm very bad in drawing, please forgive me. This is object, and this is a mundane book, please remember. It is matter, material subject. So subject tries to understand object, which is fine because subject is superior. He is a living being, and this is matter, inert. So this is inferior, you know, and this is superior. So superior can understand inferior. In fact, although superior can understand inferior, but because we have four defects, still our knowledge is imperfect even in material world. Now, tell me, this is Bhagavad Gita. Which is the subject and which is the object? Who will answer? Let us see. Which is the subject and which is the object in this case now? Which is the subject and which is the object? Uh, yes, Govind Nandini Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji Dandavat. Prabhuji, Bhagavad Gita is the subject and person is the object. Because Bhagavad
Oh,
Gita will be superior.
why Bhagavad Gita is superior?
Because that is the instruction of the Lord.
Lord's position is superior. Lord is not different from the Bhagavad Gita. So, Bhagavad Gita is now what?
Subject.
Subject. And we are object. So, can the object understand subject? No. That's why tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. One has to don't
Surrender.
stand on the Gita, just understand, just serve humbly, submissively, and slowly we'll try to understand the Bhagavad Gita. So that's the point I want to make here. So that completes our discussion on the preface. We went through the mood, in 2 paragraphs, and we went through Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu to understand what is mood, which is specifically in Sanskrit called as bhava. And Prabhupada's mood is manifested. He's personally, addressing I presented, like this, I like to present like that, And the mission in 4 paragraphs, the mission of the Bhagavad Gita is the mission of the Lord, but interpreters, interpret something else and misdirect, which is Mayavad, and even if one understands this mission and perfects his life, Prabhupada considers this as successful, which is the central point of the Bhagavad Gita. So mission, and based on that, we discussed a few philosophical terms, concept of I and mine, aham and mama, and that has to do with Deha, Dehi, Veda Tattva, and this analysis is done in the Bhagavad Gita. And there is Mamat Buddhi and Aham Buddhi, and how Mamat Buddhi is superior in the spiritual platform, but in Aham and Mama, Aham is superior, Mama is inferior, but it reverses, and then don't stand on the Gita, just understand the Gita, concept of subject and object. So all this we have discussed. We have discussed these 3 important philosophical terms. So now if you have any questions based on this, kindly raise your hands and we will take up any questions, any clarifications. Any questions, any clarifications you have? Yes, Bir Krish Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, this aham and mamat buddhi, it gradually develops as our material attachments are getting washed out, and as anarthas are getting
Yes,
depleted.
basically by practicing this whole sadhana bhakti, what is really happening is, that aham and mama is gradually getting transformed, So first you'll realize aham brahmasmi. In one sense, it is Nishtha platform. And then the mamatva more will start developing with ruchi, asakti, bhava, and prema. So that's what is happening actually. There's whole transformation of the false ego, in one sense. There is no destruction of the false ego, which is the path of Jnana and Ashtanga where one attains liberation. But here there is a purification of the false ego, which is still more difficult compared to the process of Jnana and Ashtanga. So the bhakti process is still more, that's why more difficult than the Jnana and Ashtanga. Because in Jnana and Ashtanga, you completely dissolve the false ego, destroy the false ego. But in bhakti, we purify the false ego of the conception of aham and mama. Is
Right.
it clear?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions anyone else has? Yes, Govinda Nandini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Dhanvatri.
Yes,
Prabhuji, as we discussed, the material knowledge is inferior to the human. Human being is superior.
correct.
But in the real world now, what is happening is AI is given more importance than the humans. So why that is like that?
Whatever it is, AI is also created by human beings, na?
Yeah, but that also should be inferior, right?
Which person should be inferior?
AI should be inferior, right? But companies, they are doing the layoffs. They are giving more importance to AI than the physical appearance of the people. I don't know whether this is related to this, but I just
Yeah, it's not related to the subject, but basically you have to understand that it's a mental crutch, like any tools or devices which help you to just take an example of calculator. I'm giving a very simple
Mhm.
example, calculator. AI, I'm not so familiar with it. Neither I use AI. That is artificial intelligence. And I don't want to rely on artificial intelligence. I want to rely on Vedic intelligence. So, the mind has mental abilities, to do calculations, and the mind has immense, abilities. And by that, by using mental abilities, your mental faculties actually are used. But if you depend on a calculator, then what happens is, you're not developing those mental faculties. Just like physically you cannot walk, then you use, crutches, right? So there are physical crutches and there are mental crutches. So similarly, by using instead of using our own brain to understand subject, we use somebody's created tool, which is AI, that brain to analyze and not our own brain. So we become brainless in one sense. You got the point? That's
Yeah.
how it is,
Yeah.
Yeah. So that has nothing to do with the subject and object concept in one sense. But since you got this, I'm just giving a understanding, Is it okay?
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah. Any other question anyone else has about the preface? Today we have finished the preface discussion. We are going to begin the introduction to Bhagavad Gita, and we are going to discuss one very important concept. Okay, we have half an hour, and let's begin with the introduction now. Now, you can have your Bhagavad Gita book with you, and please refer to the Bhagavad Gita. Please keep your book handy. Introduction is there. You can see here. The Mangala Charan is there. And from here, it begins. Paragraph 1 is here. So, paragraph 1 to 8, the theme is the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. What is the spirit of the Bhagavad Gita? And paragraph 9 to 12 is the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita. 13 to 26, the 5 subjects of the Bhagavad Gita. 27 to 29, the process of understanding Bhagavad Gita. 30 to 47, the result of understanding Bhagavad Gita. And 48 to 57, process given in the Bhagavad Gita for attaining the abode of the Lord. And paragraph 58 is conclusion and glorification of Bhagavad Gita Mahaprabhu. Now, as we'll be studying these various themes in the introduction essay, which is roughly around 45 pages, I guess, So we have divided this 58 paragraphs, 45 pages into different themes. Now, Mangala Charan is separate. I have kept it separate. So today we'll be studying the Mangala Charan. So I'll recite the Mangala Charan. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I was born in the darkness. I was born in the darkest ignorance. Om Ajnana Timirandasya. Ajnana means ignorance. Timiranda means dark. Andasya. Anda means darkness. Ignorance is darkness. And it is quantifying that, how dark it is. Timirandas, darkest ignorance. And my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. Jnana Anjana Shalakaya. Chakshur Unmilitam Yena. Chakshur means the eyes. Unmilitam means to open the eyes. And we might say, Arey, my eyes are open. What is this? Your eyes are open, but still you're blind because you cannot see the world through the philosophy or the darshan of Gita. You see the world according to your own illusionary concepts and understanding. So the right vision, Bhagavad Gita gives the right vision and right perception to understand reality of this world. And this knowledge is given by the spiritual master. That's why my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto whom? Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guruve is, offering the respects. Then there is the Roop Pranam Mantra. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. When will Rupa Goswami Prabhupada Swayam Rupa Kadamayam? Mayam means unto me, who has established within this material world, Stapitam Yena Bhutale, the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam. Give me shelter under his lotus feet. Dadati Swa Padantikam. Now, again, we'll not go into the whole pastime. Mahaprabhu came in this world to give us Rag Bhakti, which is followed only in Braj, Vrindavan, especially the Bhakti of the gopis in Madhurya Ras. And Rup Goswami understood the heart of Krishna, and Rup Goswami composed works, establishing this, philosophy of Mahaprabhu. And that's why Stapitam Yena Bhutale, he has established the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this world. And that's why we should take shelter of Rupa Goswami. Now, this is the Mangalacharan offering, to all the Vaishnavas, the Shad Goswamis, Radha and Krishna, everyone. Vandeham Shri Guru, Shri Yutapadakamalam, Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha, Shri Rupam Sagrajatam, Sahagana, Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam, Sadvaitam Savadutam, Parijana Sahitam, Krishna Chaitanya Devam, Shri Radha Krishna Padan, Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master. One day Aham Shri Guru Yutapada Kamalam, and of all the other perceptors on the path of devotion, Shri Gurun. So there is Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru. So Gurun refers to, the Shiksha Gurus, many perceptors. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all Vaishnavas, Vaishnavamscha. So first offers respects to Guru, then Vaishnavas, then unto the six Goswamis, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Jeev Goswami, and their associates. Sri Rupam Sa Agrajatam. Agrajatam means Sanatan. Saha Gana Raghunathanvitam Sa Jeevam. So Raghunath Das Goswami, Jeev Goswami, and other associates. Sa Gana refers to all the other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Advaita Acharya Prabhu, Nityanand Prabhu. Sadvaitam Savadutam. Sa Advaita, along with Advaita Acharya. And Avadut is Nityanand Prabhu. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam, and all his associates headed by Shivasta. Parijana Sahitam. So Parijana refers to all the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu headed by Shivasta Thakur. Shivas Thakur is Jiva Tattva, and all the devotees are in Jiva Tattva, headed by Shivas Thakur. I then offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, Srimati Radharani, and all the gopis headed by Lalita and Vishaka. Shri Radha Krishna Padan, Sahagana Lalita, Shri Vishakan Vitamsha. Now, what is the interesting thing you offer in this offering of Mangalacharan here? What is something you observe? Any observation you have? Please think about it and raise your hands. The hierarchy in which the obeisances is offered. What is your observation? Any observation you have? What is your observation? What did you note? Anyone? You've been reciting this every day practically whenever you're hearing a class. So what's your observation? Chakaram Prabhuji, yes.
It is paying respect to Bhagwan, Guru, and Vaishnava.
Yeah, but that is there. I'm speaking about some hierarchy. What observation is about the hierarchy? Anyone else? Bir Krish Prabhuji, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dhanat Prabhu, here it is going in hierarchy, starting from Guru, then Vaishnava, then Sad Goswami, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Parsad, and then in sequence it is going.
Yeah, you can see that first it is Guru, then Vaishnavas, then the six Goswamis, then Advaita Acharya, Nityanand Prabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shivas Thakur, and all the associates, then Lord Krishna and Radharani, and the gopis, headed by Lalita and Vishaka. Ideally, you might feel first Radha Krishna and the Vishaka and gopis, and then last the Vaishnavas, but Param Vaishnava is the spiritual master. So highest respect is first given to the spiritual master, because he reveals everything. So this is what one thing you should observe. Okay. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarini. Now, this is very important. Generally, when we chant, we should offer our spiritual master's pranam mantra. But in ISKCON, because Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya, and all lectures which happen in ISKCON temples, we, take Prabhupada's pranam mantra. Our spiritual master, when we are chanting the Hare Krishna Maha mantra, if we are initiated, that we should, for our own hearing, we should do it, and not for others. We should keep always that as secret. And, generally only when our spiritual master Vyas Puja is there and it is celebrated among God brothers, that time we can recite the Mangalacharna of the spiritual master. But generally in ISKCON, we should recite the founder Acharya's pranam mantra. So this is Srila Prabhupada Pranati. I offer my respectful obeisance unto Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine, that's his name, who is very dear to Lord Krishna on this earth. Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale. Preshta means, very dear. You are very dear to me, Having taken shelter at his lotus feet, because he has taken shelter of Lord Krishna. Our respectful obeisances unto you, Namaste, our spiritual master, servant of Saraswati Goswami. Now, many times devotees make a lot of mistake here. They, instead of Saraswate, please remember it is Saraswate. Saraswate, they say Saraswati. Saraswati, not Deve. Devi, they say. That means they are offering obeisances to Saraswati Devi. But Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur it is. And his disciple is Saraswati. Like, Dasharath. Who is Dasharath? Who will answer this? Who is Dasharath? Let us see who is not yet answered now. Nandini Mataji.
हरि बोल प्रभु जी।
Yes, who is Dasharath?
दशरथ महाराज लॉर्ड राम्स फादर।
Yeah, now you tell me. Dashrath. Who is Dashrath?
मोस्टली लॉर्ड राम।
You don't know that, so you're guessing. Yes.
Because now
Son of.
Saraswati, so like.
Yeah, that's what you guessed. I know that.
But actually, I didn't know कि Dashrath is
Yeah,
Lord
that's what
Ram's
I
name.
know that. I know that. I could understand that. So Dashrath means son of Dashrath. Are you getting this point?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Son of Dashrath. So similarly, disciple of Saraswati is Saraswati. And all devotees, practically everyone I have seen, nobody does this properly. And Devi, they say, my goodness, it's not Devi, Baba, Saraswati, Deva. Deve it has become in Sanskrit. Unto the servant of Saraswati Goswami, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami. You are kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya, Gauravani Pracharani, and delivering the Western countries, Paschatya Deshatarani, which are filled with impersonalism and voidism, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. So this is Sri Krishna Pranam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu, Deena Bandhu Jagatpate, Gopesha Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta Namostute. Oh my dear Krishna, Hey Krishna, ocean of mercy, Karuna Sindhu, you are the friend of the distressed and the source of creation. Deena Bandhu Jagatpate. You are the master of the cowherd men and the lover of gopis, especially Srimati Radharani. Gopesha Gopika Kanta. Kanta means lover, and you're the lover of the gopis. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Namo Astu Te. Then this is Sri Radha Pranam Mantra. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vrishabhanu Sute Devi, Pranamami Hari Priye. I offer my respects, Pranamami, to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi. Another name of Radharani is Gaurangi also. Another name of Radharani is also Preshta. Preshta is very dear. She is very dear to Krishna. So that's also another name of Radharani. And who is the queen of Vrindavan? Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. She is the Vrindavaneshwari. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu. Vrishabhanu Sute Devi. You cannot say Deva here. Devi, it is thrilling. And you are very dear to Lord Krishna. Hari Priye. There is a Hari Priya express train which connects, Kolhapur to Tirupati. And why? Because ultimately, Balaji came down when Lord Bhrigu went and kicked his chest in order to test who is supreme, whether it is Brahma, Vishnu, or Shiva. And they gave the task to Bhrigu Muni. Bhrigu Muni, committed a mental offense by not respecting Brahma, because Bhrigu is Brahma's son. He did not offer respects, and Brahma became angry. And then later on, he went to Shiva, his brother, because Shiva is also born from Brahma, and he verbally, hurled words, and Rudra became angry at his brother. But he committed a physical offense to Vishnu, that he went and kicked his chest. Lakshmi Devi was serving. And, Lord Vishnu tolerated, and he felt, maybe my chest is very hard, like a thunderbolt. Your feet must have hurt. And he was massaging the feet of Bhrigu Muni. So that's how, who is supreme, Bhrigu Muni tested. And Lakshmi could not bear that insult, how this Rishi can come and, kick my husband. So she came down to do tapasya as Mahalakshmi in Tirupati. And Balaji came down also, searching Lakshmi. And the whole pastime of Tirumala Hills is there. So when the train was supposed to start from Kolhapur to Tirupati, the railway asked the public a suggestion of the name of the train, and some devotee from Belgaum, I think it is, gave the name Hari Priya Express, and they selected that. Somehow Hari Priya it came, no? So she's very dear to Lord Hari. So Hari Priya Express is there, So you can go in Hari Priya Express and you'll be delivered from the cycle of birth and death by visiting from Kolhapur to Tirupati. Of course, this is nothing to do with the context of discussion, but Hari Priya came, that's what I'm discussing. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa kripa vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Now Vaishnav Pranam Mantra. I offer my respectful obeisances, Namo Nama, unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Vaishnavebhyo. Vaishnavebhyo is plural. They can fulfill the desires of everyone just like desires trees. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya. They are like kalpataru, desire trees. And they are full of compassion for the fallen. Kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo. Those who are most fallen, they can purify them. That is the power of the Vaishnavas. Then there is the Panchatattva Mahamantra. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. I offer my obeisances unto Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivas, and all others in the line of devotion. And then there is the last Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I just finished the recitation of Mangalacharan. Now we will discuss the concept of Mangalacharan. Now this will take some time, and I don't feel that we should start this now. But let me see if you have any questions on what up till now we have discussed. So any questions, any clarifications you have? Do you have any questions on this Mangalacharan? Yes, Bir Krish Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, just clarification, Prabhu. These Mangalacharan verses are, I mean, it's a collection from different, I mean, what are the sources for these verses? or it is just
Yeah, that is
composed?
really a mystery. It is not known to us. But there is a lot of discussion happening even in very elevated circles. You know, uh, like, this we know, Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam. Om Agyan Timrandas is a standard, uh, also a standard mantra which you can find, you know. And this is a Pranati mantra. This is the Krishna Pranam mantra, where it is coming from. The Vaishnava Pranam mantra is also there. This is a Panchatat mantra which is there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, how it is come in this serial order? In fact, this is a small Mangala Charan. There is a longer one which has many other, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, and then the Sambandha deities, Abhiday deities, Prayojan deities, all that comes. But because it is not given in the Bhagavad Gita, I did not take it up. But even I am not much really aware how is this source coming from. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
Yes, Nandini Mataji. Yes.
Prabhuji, who has written Prabhupada Pranamantra Om Agyan Namam
Prabhupada himself
Vishnu?
wrote.
Mm.
Prabhupada himself was a Kavi. We had to generally, the God brothers or the spiritual master sometimes understanding the mood of the sannyasi. It comes by the inspiration of the Lord. You have to understand. That's it. And Prabhupada, to his Western audience, they were first calling him as Swami. Then they started calling him Srila Prabhupada. And then, you have to offer a pranam mantra. And Prabhupada himself composed that.
Mhm.
So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his pranam mantra is what, Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate. So he got the title, Bhakti Vinod, because he composed a lot of literatures about Bhakti, and that was giving Vinod means happiness to the devotees. So he got that title Bhakti Vinod
Mm.
and Satchidananda Namine. So his name is Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur, like that it is.
Mm.
He's completely spiritual, And Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya. You are actually the Swarup Shakti of the Gaur Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Rupanuga Varayate is you are the best among the followers of Rup Goswami. So, like that, generally it is the acharyas themselves or their god brothers who compose, and it is coming from the inspiration from the Lord. And that's then the pranam mantra is given, and then the disciples have to recite the pranam mantra. Is it okay?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions anyone else has? Yes, Bir Krish Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, this when it is said कि ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सत श्रीमद, Prabhu, this अष्टोत्तर सत श्रीमद refers to what?
108. I have heard about it. I don't recollect now why it is 108. Parivrajacharya. Parivrajacharya is clear. Srimat is, a honorific title addressing a great personality. But Ashtottara has to do with, this 108 sannyas names, in which one particular name is selected. There are different, Tirtha, and then there is, like that, there's different titles. So like that, it comes. I'm not aware about the source, but I can find out, It is there in the
Right.
Chaitanya Charitamrita, I think, in the Sarvabhaum Samvad. So why that Ashtottara is there, I can find out. Okay.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, Nandini Mataji. Yes.
Prabhuji, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad means?
Srimat means, beautiful.
Mhm.
And it is addressing Srimad. So it means, beautiful. It has various meanings, Srimad. In the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, there it is beautiful, Krishna is beautiful, Bhagavatam is also beautiful, like that. So in this specific context, what is Srimad? Again, I don't know. I would say I can find out. It's actually a honorific title, as I mentioned, it's a honorific title. But Srimad Bhagavad Gita we call, with awe and reverence. But Shri is also, as I mentioned, beauty, prosperity, Lakshmi, like that, So various things can be there. But Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, in his commentary, Srimad Bhagavatam Mahamune Krite, this beautiful Bhagavatam, he says. So like that, it is mentioned. Okay.
Thank you, Guruji.
Okay, so it's almost 7:25 and 5 minutes more are left, but I'll stop here. Tomorrow we will discuss the concept of Mangalacharan. This is a very important thing. And after you understand the concept of Mangalacharan, you'll be doing some exercise to understand whether you have understood the concept of Mangalacharan. We will do some exercises. And then tomorrow we'll begin with the first theme, the spirit of the Bhagavad Gita. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.